What's happening, everybody? Ike, Flipside Music. Good to see you. Waiting on Dylan. He should be here momentarily. I got no light over here, so hang on. I'm illumified. What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up the chat right here so I can see what y'all are doing. Oh. What's happening, everybody? Okay. Pop this chat out. You guys are chatting amongst yourself. Greg, what's happening? Paul, what's happening? Who else we got in here? Gary, what's going on, Gary? Good to see you. Why does it seem so dark in here when it's really not that dark? Coombs, you see my sign, huh? Yeah, that thing's pretty awesome. Hey, Paul, what's happening? Yeah, check out this thing. Giant sign! I'm showing them. Hey, Dylan's here, look. But yeah, check it out. 4 foot. It's pretty awesome.
4 feet of foot.
All my dreams have come true. All my dreams
Actually,
have come
pretty
true.
sweet. I hadn't seen the sign yet. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it came out awesome.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah, like the border and everything. Yeah.
So basically, it's a 4 foot sign. You know, our logo just gigantified. This is what's going on in the front of the building. I mean, I'm 6'1", so that'll tell you how big this damn thing is. How you doing there, Dylan?
Good. Inhaling all those paint fumes. Smells good. There we go.
Like, all right, what's going on, people? Fred said, it's so big. You can tell it's chilly time. It's getting chilly in Colorado.
Still t-shirt weather,
My
though.
toque has made an appearance.
Yeah, it's still t-shirt weather though.
It's t-shirt weather to Dylan, because he's a polar bear.
Yeah. It's almost, I think it's 39 outside, at least that's what it said in the car. It's almost chilly.
What's that? It's almost chilly?
Yeah, 39, it's almost chilly. It's like that far from chilly.
You're polar bear, though.
Yeah, just half.
Half polar bear,
Yeah.
half Viking. Yeah, you're built for cold weather.
I know, yeah.
So, we got a bunch of people in there. You guys saw the sign. I saw the sign. Let's go inside the wall. I saw the sign.
Okay.
Wish they could increase the size of the font, because I can't read that for shit.
Yeah, there's not really, other than, and I think even adjusting it in the browser, I don't think really ends up helping much either. Yeah.
That's okay. We'll get it all squared away. So anyway, some exciting news. Well, we'll give you the update.
Yeah, like the unexciting news and
The unexciting news
yeah.
and then the exciting news. What do you guys want first? The good stuff or the shit stuff? You let me know. Good or shit? First one to response. Good or shit?
Let's see. I guess
Ben says shit. Okay. So the shit stuff is... Oh, is that Jeff Egan in there too? Yeah, Jeff's in
yep, there he is.
Hey, Jeff hey, look at that. Giant lettering. That's awesome. Jeff just bought something from us. So thanks, man, by the way. I think that was Jeff, right?
Yes. We can't see as much of the chat, but at least we can see.
At least we could actually read it
Yeah.
from here. Okay, so the shit stuff is, as you guys know, we've been trying to shoot to get in here for November 1st.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously, today is not November 1st. We are here, yes, but we are not.
But we're
open.
not all the way here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to be open. Basically, what's going on is the city of Denver has given us the old.
Yeah.
So we are waiting on the city of Denver for a use permit, which is
You need a permit to get your permits.
Yeah, because you got to get a permit to get it permitted.
Yes.
So we're kind of just dead in the water. I mean, the guys are basically done up front.
They actually look really nice coming in.
It looks good, right?
Yeah, with the ceiling and the lights are all on and in. It
looks good.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
It's so bright, which is nice because it's like the opposite of kind of everywhere else in town.
Right, doomy and gloomy.
Yeah.
But what's going on is we're still waiting on the use permit, and we're waiting on our site work permit. Site work permit is basically the parking lot. That we knew we were going to drag on a bit, but site work or what do you call it? Use permit.
Or change of use. Or
Change of use. It's like stupid permit, and the city of Denver's dragging on that. We're literally just pretty much the GC stuff is done. So all the big stuff is done. We have to get the use permit before we can get everything else kind of going and before we can get in. So we had to make executive decision. So we're gonna stay in our current location till the end of the year. With Christmas coming up, the next 6 weeks is gonna be pretty busy. Usually is fairly busy for us. So,
we figured don't rock the boat too much
Yeah.
during our busiest part of the year, but
yes, instead,
happens.
because otherwise we're gonna move, let everybody know what's going on. It's gonna be too confusing, and we need this part of the year to help us get through the whole fucking year.
Yeah, because this is our better part of the year, or at least it always has been.
It's always been I mean, just like every other retail business, during Christmas time, you get a nice boost.
Yeah.
So we kind of need that with all the expenses that have gone, with all of the expenses that have gone on.
Yeah, the Fed
With
rate,
this
all that
place,
stuff.
we could use it. The Fed raising the rates isn't helping us at all. The election, it's people get nervous around election times and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna stick around here until the end of the year. So we'll maybe New Year's party. So here's the plan. If all the permits go through, which of course we have to,
Yeah.
we're at the mercy of the city of Denver.
Yeah, as we have.
As we have been. This has been one tough. So by the time we move in here in January, it will literally, might be a year and a half.
Do you think you've said it that way so many times now that
That's the
when
only
you
way I
go to
can
say,
say
yeah.
Literally, mate.
I almost want to, because like
It's quite literally.
there's certain words I'll get like stuck on, or like when I'm somewhere else and you're not around, and like I'll realize and I'll start like chuckling to myself. I'm like, shit, nobody else would get
Right.
why
Nobody knows why I'm laughing at that shit. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that's one of those ones. But yeah, no, it'll be good in terms of New Year party. If anything, I mean, I think we'll just do more of like, hey, we're here, we finally did it, kind of a party, because it just doesn't seem like any of the dates ever want to line up for any party that we would, because we were hoping to, if we'd had enough time before, we were hoping to do like a Halloween thing, and then that's obviously
We've had
long
so
past.
many ideas.
Yeah.
Last year was going to be, we were going to have the Texas Toast Great American Build Off.
Yeah.
So we missed that. Then we were going to have the Rocky Mountain Bass Slam that was going to be here. We missed that. We had,
Well, everybody did. I wasn't going to
Well,
say
we
fortunately,
missed that, but we
we
would've-
did. We would have missed
we would have missed
yeah.
that goal too.
Yeah.
So that got canceled, not because of us, but because of
in general.
other situation. But yeah, everything's got effed all the way through. Pissed because nothing's lining up. But we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just Every time we've thought about having like a themed event, it's like the dates just don't ever want to line up exactly right. But we'll see. I mean, we might. I mean, it wouldn't really be beforehand.
Who knows? You never know. So
Post New Year's event.
we could have a post New Year's event. That doesn't mean that we can't have
That's true.
a Christmas party live stream.
Oh yeah.
What we should do is just get the whole staff here one night,
Yeah.
and we'll have a live stream,
Yeah. That would be
and
pretty
we'll have a few drinks and tell some jokes, and
fun.
maybe do a giveaway or something. What do you guys think?
Yeah, actually,
I
it'd
think
be kind
that
of
would be
cool because if we
alright.
had everybody here, we could kind of run like a live raffle kind of thing or something.
Yeah, we'll just do a live thing here, and you know, just have a kind of have a Christmas party or something.
Yeah.
We'll invite some of our shitty friends.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little acoustic thing or something.
That or
Ben and Jeff were talking about the turkey drop. I didn't know it. See, but I mentioned this just yesterday or the other day. Hey Brian, what's happening?
you know,
Good
we
to see you
probably.
for
I
popping
mean,
in.
I don't think it would do much damage, but we could try to drop one from the very top of
frozen
the tower.
turkey?
Yeah, from the top of the.
I didn't know turkeys couldn't fly. You've seen
That
that
or-
episode, right?
Well, yeah, that one's kind of, because that one hits even if you hadn't seen it, like that still pops up as like
Yeah.
a cultural.
You can't
Yeah.
miss it.
One thing though, it wouldn't work, and it'd be way too.
Terry
dangerous.
says raffle it out of the turkey. So pull the numbers out of
Right
the
out of the
turkey's
turkey,
ass.
yeah.
Right out of the turkey's ass.
Um.
Hey, Ryan's in here. Which leads me.
Oh, did he find like?
Yeah, Ryan right there. Elias.
Oh, okay.
So that leads me to the good news. Did I cut you off?
No, I was just gonna say at some point I've always wanted to know if you dropped the turkey into a long enough, like the people who blow up their driveways and themselves every year frying frozen turkeys.
Oh yeah.
If you did it from a height safely, and then would it mortar if you had enough of a cylinder? Could you mortar a turkey?
We need.
Those are the things I want to, like, if we ever had stupid money, those are the things I would
Those
be
are the
doing.
things. Mortar.
Like, just, if I had a
Yeah.
random thing, like,
So
I wonder what would happen if this happened, and those would be the things I'd go do. Basically Mythbusters, but on just weird thoughts.
We're Mythbusters that are stoned. Basically, you
go.
just got to get
There you
high,
go, yeah.
come up with the dumbass idea.
And test it.
Not like they probably didn't do that anyway.
Yeah, that's
because
probably-
I'm sure Adam is no stranger to what that smells
Yes.
like. That and we would just make a potato gun.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
instead
but
of potatoes, it's pumpkins.
Well, that would actually, they used to do that in,
They already got that. It's called pumpkin chunkin'.
they do, yeah, because I was going to say they used to do that in, like, Oklahoma and Arkansas, like, they would do the qualifiers down there.
That's
And
about right.
Yeah, and it was actually, some of those were pretty amazing. Like this one that shot at like something like 900 yards or something. It was crazy. This one that this guy built, but I mean, it was the size of a crane.
I like the ones that they make that are like a trebuchet.
Oh yeah, like when
Yeah,
they
those
actually,
are- yeah.
those are, yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
those and I'm like, that's impressive. The
Yeah.
fact that you rednecks can build yourself a trebuchet, it's
Yeah.
y'all drove up here on two fucking tractors, on two
Right.
John
Yeah.
Deeres with a trebuchet. Good for you guys.
That's where all the siege engines will come from. With,
Jeff said
with
sweet potato gun. We can go with that for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Just orange.
Yeah,
Everything.
all over. Okay, so good news, seeing that Ryan is here in the chat. So Ryan has been working with me with Comcast because he is one of the fine folks that work for Comcast.
Is it Comcaster?
He's a Comcastian. And we got our internet hooked up yesterday. So you're still watching us on the phone because we haven't figured out how to get it hooked up
Yeah,
properly
next
yet.
week, hopefully.
Because by the time we got it hooked up yesterday, there just hasn't been enough time today to get in here and figure out, because we got to tie it into our security system. So I got my IT guy coming out to get all of that worked out. But what that will mean is that, Brian, it's Comcastic. It's quacktastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Comcastic. So next week we should be full on with the microphone
Yes.
and a proper.
Possibly even graphics if we can manage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a whole week. We should be able to figure that out because
Yeah.
we just could do something.
Well, yeah, like I said, even if I don't know if Jake and I mess around with it for like an evening.
Yeah, it's
beforehand.
not. I mean, I could.
Well, because I think he has all the old ones from before. We just got to put, because I think StreamYard's quite a bit easier than it used to be. So
Yeah.
Well, it was
I mean,
always easy actually. But
like the stuff that Ben does and Metalhead Hippie, all that
Yeah.
stuff looks good. And you can split screen, so if we get guests
Yes.
in here on our live stream, which we were trying to figure out too.
well, hopefully we can make that more of a common thing.
Yeah, maybe once a month we get somebody and talk to them that we know that wants to shoot the shit with us about something.
Well, that and it'd be kind of fun to chime in with Ben and Terry more often when they're doing like the Canucks stuff. Yeah, because I mean, usually we get in the chats, but we don't usually do this part. It'd be kind of nice to start chiming in at least once in a while. Yeah, and then Ben could come on as a guest for sure.
Yeah, could come on as a guest. We could also have, if we're gonna do other, because here's the thing. Now that we can, what do you call it? Now that we can actually do this. Thank you, Ryan, for all your efforts towards getting us set up.
Did he apply some boots to asses?
I think so.
I'm just gonna imagine that he did. It makes me feel better.
I'd like to think that he just strong armed some shit all over Comcast. He just walked in and just puffed chest.
Just went full Hank Hill on everything.
Yeah. So, so what we're going to do, even though we won't officially be in here probably to the end of the year, hopefully, as long as the city of Denver, that gets going, we're going to still try to do some live streams out of here with some products that we want to showcase. We're going to work on some live streaming stuff so we have guitars and we can
Well, that and I've been thinking more.
utilize the space while we have it.
Yeah, I've been thinking more and more lately about, because honestly, with the way that the streaming, well, not streaming, sorry, with the way that the YouTube world is in regards to guitar gear, I personally don't feel like I can add anything all that interesting. But I think what I might want to start doing more is, like, especially with what we have coming in, like a lot of the pedals, is pairings. Like, start doing more like specific things rather than just a demo of
So like,
the next new
this
thing.
overdrive goes really well with this.
Yeah, exactly.
song.
Yeah, and like we'll just
This one really goes good with a.
Yeah, it's
with
basically an excuse to get drunk
Yeah.
and play a pedal.
Coercivites, whatever that line is.
Actually, wait, that's not. If we could actually build that up to a thing,
We could work
start
it.
contacting the breweries.
We've
and then
tried
be-
it. We talked about beer and gear.
Well,
and I think
that, but
somebody
then if
else
we
does
start
beer
getting
and
it
gear,
into
but-
reviews, where you get a review of the beer and the gear at the same time.
We can start with Ratio right
Yeah.
down the street. We know the people over at Odyssey, or at least we know people that know Odyssey. I mean, we know the guys. At
Know
Odyssey.
people who know people.
Yeah. We could just say, hey, we do a thing. That's why I always wanted to do beer and gear.
Yeah.
I said it fucking 7 years ago.
Well, yeah, but now, like, once we're here, I think hopefully we could actually make that happen. But I was thinking we start zeroing in on more specific things, because I like even the other day when the Soldano came out, which is an awesome pedal, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
cool.
think we're already unfortunately
sold
sold out.
out, yeah.
Like
Go home.
none of them even hit the counter. Like we never even had one in the counter. So, or in the shelf. So yeah, it was kind of strange, but I noticed with that, there's just so many people that flood that so fast now that like I don't feel like I personally I don't feel like I'm a caliber player that I can add that much more to that. If
We
anything,
ain't adding shit to that.
well, no, but I think if anything, start getting more into this more specific stuff of the shit that people actually ask, because it's like, yeah, most of the time these dudes can always prove it's a good sounding pedal, but most of these guys can play anything and make it sound relatively good.
Right.
I think getting into more specific stuff. So once we're here, I'm going to start trying to. I don't know what that'll become. It'll probably become just beer and gear, but also pedal pairings.
Licks and no, that could go bad. Never mind.
Yeah.
Pints and I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find the quest to find the best tone beer.
Tone beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What pairs well with a Supro or?
Yeah, or like
This-
which beer
yeah.
really enhances your mahogany.
Well, I figured like Heineken goes well with the Dietzel stuff, probably, right?
I hope so.
Could work out.
Yeah, that and the we don't have any Italian-made guitars, just pedals. I was gonna say the Rossetti or whatever goes with the.
We got the red sound. We got
well,
the
yeah.
red sound cabinets.
Yeah.
Those are Italian.
Yeah, and then we got the.
It says Fragile on the side of the box.
Yeah. must be Italian.
Must be Italian.
Speaking of which, apparently they're making a sequel to that, or they made a sequel to that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the trailer yet. I'm kind of surprised, but.
Well, he's all grown up.
Well, yeah. I mean,
He's not-
if he was still little, I'd be kind of
Yeah.
scared.
You
But.
can't remake that movie. Well, there's certain movies you just can't remake.
Well, no,
Like, I
but
think
yeah.
You could do an add-on or something
Yeah.
years later, but you can't. Princess Bride. You can't remake Princess Bride.
No, they're gonna try to, but no.
You
no.
can't. Like that movie's just
Well, no, that'd be like
it's a
even
killer movie
that'd
the
even
way
be
it
like
sits.
trying to remake anything Monty Python ever did.
Oh, yeah.
Because like it's the people, it's those guys that made it what it was, not not necessarily just the material.
yeah. Well, you couldn't do Shawshank Redemption.
No.
You just can't.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. There are certain things that you just can't touch, but it'll be kind of interesting to see which way they go with that.
Yeah. All right. So Gary Redburn says how to set up a basic pedal board for newbies like me. That's in the works. We have a whole list of stuff we want to actually address. We just haven't.
Well, and for anybody who
It's
hasn't,
been very difficult to do, but that's one of the things
Yeah.
that's on the list is just your basic pedal board 101. Because I've always told Dylan, there's somebody that's
just started.
just starting today, just starting to learn how to play guitar today. So if we're the ones that they find and they can get some information from us that helps them out, then that would be good. There's a lot of information on the, out on the web, but who knows where they're going to land first.
Yes. Well, that, and I mean, even just something for us to be able to direct people towards would not be, because I mean, it's one of those things, especially with pedal board building. It's like it's one of those things that I feel like you should kind of know the rules or the overarching principles of it. But at the end of it, like you gotta just try stuff, or else
Yeah,
you
you
don't.
could do-
Yeah, so it's like I think if you at least set somebody on the right, like these are the basics, and this is usually how you would start. But it doesn't mean it's got to stay that way, because half the time when I hear, like even Rory does it all the time, like he'll just put stuff in a combo that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of, and it just happens to kind of make a certain sound.
And kind of work out.
Yeah, so it's like until you try some of that stuff, you just don't know. And I mean, a lot of times it really is as simple as just, if you wonder about it, just try it. And if it doesn't work out, the worst thing you got to do is put it back together.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of people that have asked us about what do I put? Do I put this in front of that? Do I put my compressor in front of my wah pedal? Do I, like stuff like that? Where do I put the compressor? Where do I put a boost?
Yeah.
Would I put a boost here? Would I put a
Or
fuzz
even-
pedal before
yeah.
a wah or after? And the thing is like general rule, it kind of things go like this.
Yeah.
But you could put, if you wanted to put your fuzz in front of your wah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that stuff, and that's actually some of the videos that I kind of want to make too. Is even like once we've made the kind of basic pedal board building principles kind of thing, then move into like what is fundamentally happening when you do reverse certain things. Like what happens when you do go against not the norm, but when you go against like the kind of established signal chain. Like what
Yeah.
happens to like you said, like what if you change your fuzz in your wah, or even like treble boosters are another pedal that like obviously I love, but everybody I know that owns one puts it in a different place. Like it's not all it's not like everybody I know that owns one uses it the same way. So it's stuff like that that I think would be kind of more interesting to zero in on.
I agree, and I think another good thing would be effects loops.
Yeah, yeah.
Like showing people how to because a
even
lot
how to
of people
apply
don't
like a noise gate
understand.
in an effects loop
Yeah,
situation.
like what
and,
I don't know what to do or where to put this. How does this, how does the effects loop thing?
Or even a basic like,
work.
here's what the 4-cable method is. Here's what it means. This is when somebody says, "Are you running the 4-cable method?" Those like some simple things like that that just need more not clarification, but like you said, for anybody who's just starting, a landing spot.
Yeah, because some stuff could be intimidating. We forget, being in a store, sometimes we forget when we're talking to customers too. We're like, hey, this is a humbucker, and this is a P90, and this is our P rails, and this is that. And they're like,
Yeah.
I
Or
don't know
even,
what you're talking about. So
The other day,
even just going through to give the quick explanation, and we might even do a video on that. Like, what's the difference between a P90 and a single coil and a humbucker and a Jazz Master pickup? Just super basic. Most of you guys wouldn't need that, but there could be people out there that go, oh, okay, this guy just gave me the absolute basics of a thing
Right.
that I was wondering about. Because
Right.
there's times where I'm on a new subject and I don't know.
yeah, no, even
you
just
know.
establishing some basic vocabulary for whatever, because every field and every hobby has its own, verbiage that gets used for things that doesn't correspond to pretty much anything outside of that hobby. So to me, it's one of those things of like, once you can establish a few things, because even, the other day, like a prime example is like this guy came in, and I think he thought I was trying to correct him, and I had to kind of tell him, after it, that I wasn't like trying to correct him. I was just trying to establish that, like, so it was basically he was coming in for a reverb pedal, and he kept saying kind of repeatedly that he wanted an analog reverb pedal. And he was saying that to James kind of repeatedly, and James was having a hard time kind of like, we were both having a hard time, honestly, trying to like explain exactly to him that like analog reverb pedals don't really exist outside of, spring tank reverbs.
You're
and plate reverbs and like physical things. And so I wasn't trying to correct him. I was just trying to establish that like, if you say analog reverb, or if you keep asking somebody for an analog reverb, it's going to be misleading in the future, because again, it's one of those things that doesn't exist outside of a few very specific things. Outside of that, everything, in reverb world is digital. And so it's just easier to think of like pedals are just digital when it comes to reverb, and the physical things are a totally separate thing.
Right.
But like those things, are something like I wouldn't have known that going in. Like even, I'm sure there's a lot of people that still have a hard time kind of grasping what an analog reverb is versus, a digital one, because it's not the same thing as like analog and digital delays. It's a two different thing. It's not like you have both those same things for reverb.
Right. Jeff has a tough time finding an
Analog digital watch. Yeah.
It's going to be tough, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, Guitar Man 45, what's happening? Good to see you in the chat. Janice Lala is here. What's happening, Janice? Good to see you. Charles, if I didn't see you earlier, say hello to her. I can't talk today for shit.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Might have been my
James dosed you.
might have been my Ambien last night that got me. Might have been that green Ambien that got me again.
Just like a little fairy of James flying around. And,
Yeah. Just dropping little brownies off to people. He's dropping little brownies off to all the good girls and boys.
It's pretty funny to picture that, like a fairy floating around with the long hair and the backwards ball cap.
Right. Dropping off weed brownies. I mean, brownies. Oh, so.
Oh yeah, did you have a subject? I think I missed the intro. Did you have a subject for today?
Guitar talk,
Guitar
shenanigans, whatever. I was like, we're doing what we normally do, slide in at the last minute and just get going. But we missed last week because there was things happening here that we just couldn't get around. So unfortunately, we missed it. But while I got everybody available out there right now, please hit the like button, thumbs up, whole thing if you guys could. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the bell if you wanna know. Like I said, there will be more now that we do have the internet hooked up. You'll see some more stuff. I want to do some. I got a couple ideas for some live things that I would like to do.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to actually play a little guitar on some of our stuff too, instead of it just being you guys all the time. Well, it's not even us. It's more the other dudes more often.
Well,
Because they got
on
the time.
Instagram now, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think I'm in like maybe like 1 out of 20 or something like that now.
And I'm even worse than
Yeah.
that.
Rest in peace.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Ben. But yeah, no, I mean, I think we need to do more of that, but now that we'll have internet, we can't, I mean, even if we, even for the next few months, try to dial this in, and we'll probably do some like impromptu ones where we're just trying to dial some shit in. So obviously kind of, if you want to participate, obviously look out for those, because I'm sure we're going to need to probably, I mean, I imagine we're going to have to dial this in stages. So it's like the first part of it'll at least just be for our personal use, and then we'll get into like the doing bands and hearing all that shit later. But
Yeah, Ben, we're probably going to call you to help us out with a few things, just so you know. Just because it's going to be for between StreamYard and then making sure audio and all that kind of stuff. We just need somebody that's not us.
Yeah, that also does this type of thing that can also be like, hey, this sounds good, or hey, this isn't syncing up, or hey, your audio's out of whack, or whatever could happen to it. Because we want to dial this stuff in, and we don't want to. I mean, obviously we're pretty raw about this stuff. We don't really edit anything down, obviously, but we'd still like to at least have some semblance of knowing what we're doing before we do that shit.
Yeah, we want to put up a good showing.
Yeah.
It's just
You guys have already suffered through this part of it, so it's like we may as well start. At least when we hit the ground running, we may as well hit it running with something good.
Yeah, the folks that follow us, it's like we certainly appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Following along through all this madness. It'll get better. It can't get any worse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really can't.
Well, yeah, I was
we
just
want to make sure we're
everything.
putting, that things sound good.
Yeah.
Moving forward, but this you'll see. I think over the next couple of weeks you'll see a pretty good transformation in this room too, because I got carpet back there somewhere that we're gonna put up. We got the curtains for here that still gotta go. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in here, but this was our least priority space.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's gonna be oddly, it'll probably be one of the areas we spend quite a bit of time in, but compared to the showroom and the warehouse, this wasn't the highest priority yet. So.
Yeah. Terry said he could help us out too.
Yeah.
We're not going to use OBS though. We're going to go with StreamYard because I think it's easier. OBS just takes a little. We need to keep it stupid proof.
Well, I was gonna say,
we need
yeah,
to be able to do it quickly. OBS takes a little bit more effort.
Well, and we'll see as things develop what we end up having to use. But because the only advantage I could possibly see with like OBS 2 might be, I remember some of their integration with Twitch was a little bit better, and I know for audio, Twitch is the way to go for like audio part of that's why a lot of music streamers
Through
are
OBS.
Well, no, their integration with OBS like on Twitch was sometimes a little easier. I mean, I think StreamYard does it too. It's just that Twitch in general is something I wanted to also dip into because for audio, I think it's supposed to be better supposedly. So
We'll look into all that because we wanted to look at doing a Twitch thing too.
Yeah.
So that maybe we play some video games with you guys.
Yeah.
So there's a good question. For all of you guys that are out there watching, how many of you are gamers? Do you guys game too? Because I know I play Call of Duty. And Hot Wheels racing.
Hi.
I'm telling you, I might buy myself a Hot Wheels racing seat.
Oh yeah, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and leave it here.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it here, and then hook it up to a PS5 or something.
Yeah.
And then because we got like screens that people have just donated to us, like flat screens. So we probably got 4 or 5 of them sitting around here. I think we should set one up.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy the fucking thing. Yeah. I already got the controller and the wheel.
Oh yeah.
All we need to do is
the seat. Yeah.
We need the frame and set it up. I think it'd be killer.
That's funny.
So yeah, who else plays games?
So not Ben and not Ferd apparently.
Johnny Bean plays GTA.
Yeah, see there. So there, Terry was kind of confirming what I thought about.
I used to play Call of Duty.
Well, just Terry was confirming about the audio and video for Twitch. Because like I said, I think for certain ones, we'll see. Because like I said, I'm definitely going to use YouTube more for probably like the Hangout stuff. I think Twitch could end up becoming our avenue for doing more of the performances, but also when we start doing more like playing gear, like live reviews. I think Twitch might be a good spot for us to do that at some point. So.
Ben, yeah, you can find me on Call of Duty. Ike 5280.
Speaking of which, yeah, I was talking to Shane. He did tell me what graphics card to get, so I do need to get that updated so I can get the new one because I haven't played the new one at all yet. I know it's just in beta still or whatever. But,
no, it's live.
Or is it? Oh, it's live. Oh, it's live.
Yeah, new Call of Duty's live. The new Warzone isn't.
Okay.
So Terry is saying Ryan Bruce dual streams to both YouTube and Twitch. Well, that's what we were kind of looking to do at some point once we get our shit together.
Yeah.
Alan, I don't know if Duke Nukem counts. That's like 20 years ago. So a lot of non-gamers. Ooh, new God of War, huh? I'll have to check that out. I like that game too. Andy Dion says his kids beat him in Mario Kart. See, that's the thing. I got a Twitch too, or
Yeah.
Switch, and I was like, what if we all played? What if we got that and we had some Mario Kart?
Well, I was
And
just
then
saying,
we would challenge you guys. Here's the reason I was asking is that if you guys are gamers, maybe we do a thing with Twitch and we have some of you guys come on and try to beat us in Mario Kart. Because Dylan, when he's cruising by in that little cart with that bowler,
the bowler, yeah.
yeah, he's throwing.
Yeah, not
Viking.
many people realize like all my shells come out as bowlers, not as shells.
Yeah, there are no shells.
Yeah.
It's just a bowler. It's like that the villain from
James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was something Job? What was his?
Steve.
Steve Jobs. Yeah. Yeah. No, it wasn't like Nut Job, but it was something like it was some
Does it
name.
start with a B?
Well, no. Yeah.
Odd job.
Odd Job. That was
There
it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That could go off the rails pretty easy.
Yeah, I could.
So Ben says get the new AMD 7900 XTX.
Well, there's that, but I think those were like ridiculous. Because even Shane was saying like the previous generation should take a pretty big cut in terms of price off the last one. So we'll see. He was recommending also like the 3070 Ti, which looks like Ben says he's got the 3060. So we'll see. I was figuring I'd do that though because it's easier to do that right now than it is to get a PS5. So.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I already have like 32 gigs of RAM and all that shit, so it's like
Might
that
as well
part
just
is fun.
upgrade,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, it looks like Doug Santaniello's in here. What's happening, Doug? Good to see you, bud. Well, I can't see you, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wow, this room is hot. Now it's
I was gonna
hot.
say the heat really pours in, and looks like we did get disconnected from the chat. So.
Oh, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's okay. Where are we? How long we been going? All right, 40 minutes. That's cool. Just
I
chatting
can't
away.
wait till we have real internet.
Well, it'd be nice when it'll all be contained into one thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll have better. Hopefully, we got the webcam. We have the other camera that we can hook up. I also have a Zoom Q4 24, whichever one, the little guy. That one works well.
Well, I was gonna say, well, yeah, because if anything, we could use the big camera for in here, and then use the webcam for the pedals, or whatever gear we're. So we'll see, yeah, because we're gonna try the multicam stuff once we get all set up.
Oh, looks like Doug's coming into town again. All right, well, let's stop in over there and say hello. Terry says that there are lots of free-to-play games out there that are multiplayer. People can play together, like Rocket League. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I've played that before. So Ed B Metal says love to see some gear demos. So Ed, we were talking about before because I think you just got here somewhat recently or just started jumping in. We're gonna kind of work on that. We finally got the internet in together, so we're thinking about doing some live gear demo stuff because we got some ideas I think that'll work and it'd be fun.
Well, that and I just think I don't know. I think the gear demo, kind of like I was saying earlier, it's already pretty saturated on one front. So if anything, like I'd rather us plug in some shit and then you guys ask like, hey, what happens if you do this, and then we can actually just try it. Cause like it might not be about like it might not be a playing exhibition. That's not what we're gonna be doing, but it's gonna definitely be more of a like you guys wonder like, hey, what happens if you run this into
crank the game.
Yeah, crank this.
the game.
Yeah. If you guys just want to know, like, then we'll do it, and I think that'll be more fun of like audience questions get answered, instantly rather than just.
Or just doing a video and throwing it out there for
Right.
everybody to be like, okay. Maybe do live. What I would like to do is when we get our shit together is to do, like, let's say there's a big pedal being released tomorrow from a company. And we would be able to, just go live and play the pedal, and then you guys could ask us questions instead of, because everybody's already going to go to their favorite YouTuber to hear how it sounds, but you can come to us, which may not be the same quality of guitar playing, but at least it'll be live, and you can ask us a question right there, and it won't be,
Yeah, we sort
We
of
could do
basically like because if anybody's been in the shop regularly, then you know that basically when anything cool comes in, everybody already basically plugs it in. If anybody's around, they kind of huddle around and listen anyway. It's kind of like when you used to go to an arcade and you'd watch
You have
it's
to
the
go
same.
get the new game.
Yeah, it's the same exact vibe. So we basically want to get that experience of when everybody's like, oh shit, look at this, what happened? That whole thing. But we want to get that on a live format so that everybody. So it's basically you guys. Yeah, even though you guys aren't playing them, you guys can at least kind of still ask things and mess around with stuff as if you were there. It's
Yeah,
kind of
or
the-
like, hey, I feel like it sounds sputtery. Does it actually sound like that?
Yeah, or how's it sound? You guys can ask, yeah, how's it sound in the room versus like the recording?
And we could have some extra pedals, like how does it stack?
Yeah.
Hey, would this work with another overdrive? What if I boosted this pedal? What would it sound like?
Actually, that's a
You know what I
thought,
mean?
yeah,
like,
'cause,
we could add a couple extra things
That's a good idea.
to
'cause I could
whatever
just-
it is, and then you guys can mess around and we can talk about it. I think it'll be a good way to. It's different. We're not going to be, Sean Tubbs or any of these other fucking nut job guitar players that they're
that make you want to burn your shit or whatever.
yeah, it makes you want to burn your gear, which they're all great dudes. You know what I mean? But we're just not going to be able to.
Yeah, no, if anything, it'll definitely be more pedals or demos for the people kind of a thing in terms of you guys get to, at least if you're participating, you get to ask and find out what's going on with something, without having to actually, yes, ideally everybody would get to try it, but that doesn't happen. So it's like this will hopefully be as close as we can get to letting people sort of try stuff with us.
And we'll try to do it with like normal people gear.
Yeah.
Player Series Strat or Telly, Blues Junior, shit that people actually have.
Or even the shit that we actually use ourselves.
People have all the things, all the expensive stuff. Custom shop Strat through a fucking 2 notes, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to be a monkey to not make that sound good anyway. So how is this going to work for people that are playing it through, normal gear like a Blues Junior or a Blues Deluxe or something like that? Now, we may use the Rev stuff, like a Rev D20 to showcase it because it does have the captor involved. So, we may go that route too because that way we can,
Yeah, if
we
anything,
can
I
still
think-
hear it, but your guys are getting the best possible audio out of it.
That's what I was gonna say. If anything, those will probably be the main way we, if we're not running like for simple stuff, we could probably get away with iridiums. But I think for a lot of stuff, like a lot of the pedal demos, it'll be nice to just keep, even keep just a couple amps in here, and then we just wire it in through that, and then we'd be able to hear it, through the mixer and all that shit, just the way everybody else would be hearing it. So
Yeah, so we kind of want to do some of that stuff.
yeah. Yeah, Guitar Man 45. The broiler, it says he's getting the broiler and Soldana, but what's the broiler? I don't know if I guess I'm missing. I'm out of the loop on that one. Not to be confused with the broiler and the mauler and all the other
Yeah.
and the horse meat and.
Oh yeah, all the new.
I'm gonna forever, yeah, like that one's still just.
Still want to see if we can get some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody asked the question up there earlier, and I can't find it.
Oh, like anything up here?
I can't remember. I fired Paul now. Lots of games to play. What's up, everybody? Oh, no cover charge. Hey, what's happening? No cover charge. Yes, that's a sarcophagus. It's a 6'2" sarcophagus in this room. I couldn't help myself. It was on Facebook Marketplace, and I had to have it. Shit like that happens. There was something else in there. If you can mix, like you said, promotion, some gaming, etc., into an online streaming presence for the store, that would be, in theory, a good thing. Yeah, Terry, that's what we're kind of doing. Like, here's the thing. We all know the QVC, the overseas QVC of guitar channels. Oh wow, mate, look, it's the greatest thing I've ever had. Oh yeah, all right, better get back on my ship, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same shit every time. And I think what we really want to do is obviously it's here for marketing and for sales, but we just want to, for those of you guys that don't come to the store or can't come to the store, is be able to come in and kind of go, if you do make it over here, you're like, oh, fuck, those guys aren't literally the same dudes on the.
Well, yeah,
You know,
I
it's
feel
not like we're.
yeah.
I'm not gonna be hiding in the back or in some office somewhere. I don't even have a fucking office.
Well, no, that's where. Yeah.
Shit, I got a slab. I got a press board desk in the back corner of the fucking warehouse.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying I mean, always in the mix, but that is the thing of like trying to get the way we are, at least the way things are at the store online, because like that
Yeah.
we're much better at doing this stuff in person than anything else. So it's like it'd be better, and honestly too, we're not like the rehearsal type guys either to rehearse anything or do any kind of written. I mean, at some point, I'm sure we'll have to do written dialogue for certain things so we don't miss, like specs and shit. But for
Right.
the most part, we're gonna still be
We're
doing
winging it.
everything off the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just easier that way.
Yeah.
And you get what you. And you get what you get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you come in, because we've had this happen before. We have customers that actually, watch our stuff, and they come in. They're like, "Oh, you guys are like the exact same as
Yeah.
online." We're like, "Yeah, we're not really good at." Hi, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
we
blah,
don't have
blah,
internet
yeah,
personas or anything.
we're just not really that great at it. That's why I swear a lot.
Yeah.
I just tell you though, if I won the lottery though, we would just turn this into full like, don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We just go in and I wouldn't care. Like we don't need
Oh,
to make a
well,
dime.
yeah, yeah.
We just do whatever the fuck we want and not have to give a crap. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, especially with the way the
Wouldn't be
lotto has
offensive.
been.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wouldn't be
no, but
offensive.
yeah,
It
in
would just
terms
be
of
like-
not having to worry about if we ever got monetized or not.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just be less.
Well, it's so funny
it would
because
be
like you
less
watch,
gated. It
well,
would
you
be-
watch shit on
yeah.
YouTube now, and it's so funny because like you will know, people will be saying stuff, and then so many like even discussions now within YouTube now it's all streamed stuff for the most part. Like it's basically live chats, but that's how they're delivering like interviews now for everything, like for every topic you're into. But it always makes me laugh is when somebody cusses and then right after asks, "Oh, can I say that?" Because it's on YouTube, so it's like nobody's gonna bleep it. But at the same
Right.
time, like, yeah, it's funny to me that now that's a concern because it's like it really, I don't know. I just think it's a dumb thing. Like the cursing thing really shouldn't be a thing because it's like I can see on TV, like TV that makes sense. Like there's that makes sense. Whereas with YouTube and streaming, it's like. I don't know. I just think it's a little weird, and like it makes people so self-conscious that it's like they don't talk the way they want. They don't talk in the same flow that they normally would in person.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. Like, if any of you guys watch like Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk, he doesn't give a shit. He said, but he's also rich as fuck.
Right.
So
Well, yeah,
he doesn't
so-
have to.
Yeah,
and it
so he can
works.
give up whatever pennies he might be getting from.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, but like I watch that stuff and I'm like, yeah, it's the truth. You got to be yourself. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't not. Yeah, I could be crass, but I don't care. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we don't do our jobs. Doesn't mean we don't care. Doesn't mean we don't do our shit right. It just means I swear more than.
Well, yeah, and just because you curse doesn't mean you're unintelligent either. I mean, like that definitely
You've
can
seen
be a
how
thing.
I put words together.
Yeah, I was gonna say that definitely
think that
can
takes
be
a
a
lot of
thing, but yeah,
creativity.
well, and if anything, if you think about it, I mean, the right curse words in the right situation provides delivery that other things just don't. Certain words just don't hit the same way.
I'm
so.
like the DoorDash of fucking curse words. I just deliver whenever you need it.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, where are we at? What time is it?
Let's see. 4:50.
It says I'm broken and also don't give a fuck. See?
Yeah.
We just got to get the whole I don't give a shit
Everybody,
crowd
yeah.
together and just be like, listen, we're all cool. Everybody's good. Fuck it. Drink beer, play guitars. That should be a shirt.
Well, that'll be for beer and gear.
Yeah. Mike says, drink beer, play guitars.
Yes. Proverbs. Yeah, Proverbs.
Yeah.
1-1.
We could have a lot of them that'll piss people off. Well, they won't piss people off. But.
No.
Ben gave up giving a shit years ago. Tim White, new more guitar line? What? Do they have one?
I did not know that if they did.
If
yeah.
they, because I just called to get a new price list for them so I could order stuff.
Let me
Let's see.
Google that. On the topic of
Oh,
guitars,
Pat
though,
says, "What's up, boys? Stay angry." What's going on,
Hi,
Patrick?
Pat.
Good to see you, buddy. Glad you made it in.
On the topic of guitars, though, because I still like with jazz masters, I still can't get along with them. So like, what's a guitar? And I'm sure somebody's asked this at some point, but what's a guitar like you wish you could like, but just don't or can't get along with? Like, what's a guitar you wish you would bond with, but you just never have?
You know, wow. That's a tough one. But I think one that I always wanted to love, but I can't, is a Flying V.
Oh, okay.
Like, I love the Flying V, but it's just the sitting down. And you can't play it sitting, you have to play it standing.
Well, no, you can do classical. It's just not everybody does. Sorry, we got beeps in the background.
Yeah, but stuff still happens. But I'm like Flying V to a certain extent because of it's just weird.
Sure. No, I mean Explorers are not really, but I mean usually with Explorers though you can still do the Les Paul thing and just put it like let it
that's
drop.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting and playing, it's one thing. Standing, it's a different story. You could play a Flying V, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. I like most guitars. So Tim said, headless with built-in effects.
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say,
the
it looks
more
like they're doing a
guitars.
few different ones. They're all called the intelligent guitars. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like wait till V2. 'Cause it's like if they're gonna build effects in the guitars, that's one of those things of like
It's already been done.
it already has been done, but it could be done well. But the thing is, like, if anything ever goes wrong, those are when those things scare me. It's just like it's the
That's
same
when
thing
you
with
gut it and put it back to the.
well, it's the same thing
the
with
old
like
stuff.
cars to a point, because it's like not that I work on cars or anything, but like if I ever were to or needed to, like I could wrap my head around shit from like the 90s back. But like all the stuff
Yeah.
with computers now, no way, like that's ridiculous. And like, but to me, it's not. Obviously, this isn't quite the same thing. But when you get into all the shit that already goes wrong with pedals and effects and then guitars, like all those connections and just having one of those connections possibly going. So yeah, I'd wait till V2 just to see if they hammer out all the.
Wait till
Yeah,
V2.
yeah.
Wait till they don't make them anymore.
Well, that too, but
So Tim says he's never bonded with PRS either.
okay. Yeah, they're one that, as a whole, that would be a company I've certainly never bonded with. But there's certain models I have played where I was like, okay.
The Mira.
And I was
I
gonna
like
say,
the Mira.
I
I'm
played.
a fan of that.
Yeah.
But everything else, for as fancy as they're supposed to be, I mean, I've played a lot more SEs than super expensive PRSs.
Mm-hmm. Well, and,
I get where they're cool and they're okay, yeah. But I just never really was like, oh, I don't troll the PRS site.
no. For me, like in terms of a model or a style, though, Jazzmaster is still gonna be my, because like, even like a few years ago, I would have said Strats and Tellys I wasn't that interested in, but as time goes by, like I've found ones that finally got me into those. But I feel like I've tried every version of a Jazzmaster that you could try at this point, and none of them, like I think they're cool and I think they are interesting. Especially like the dudes that do mess with like the the rhythm circuits and the guys that actually know what they're doing with those. Like I totally get it, because like even with a Strat, like I do love the fact that you can get so many, especially with like a push pull Strat, you can get so many different tones out of one guitar that like I get that. But Jazzmasters to me are just I've just never played one that ever hooked me where I was like where it made me even think of where it made me think I gotta have one. Like I've just never come across one that did that. Whereas like with Strats and Tellys, like that's happened, quite a bit now, more now than it did before. But even Strats, I didn't know it was really came down to a neck thing for me. Whereas like Jazzmasters, I just think it's something about I don't want to say the premise of the guitar, but like something about it just doesn't jive. And I would say SGs are another one. But I've played those, and those I would actually want. I just don't play them because it'd look like a toy for me.
Right. I kind of want one too, and I've been eyeballing a few, but then I'm like, I don't need more guitars. I need more practice.
No, yeah, me too.
I need more practice than guitars.
Yeah. Well, but to me, it's one of those things. Like I'm starting now that I'm drilling into playing parts casters and shit. Like to me, like the Strat and Telly, like there's reasons like those are the way they are in terms of like those are the things that you can work on and you can do absolutely anything to them. And like even if you want to make it sound like another guitar, you can even do it. It's just it's so much easier on those, and it's so much less bullshit in terms of like like I love
Pretty standard, pretty easy.
yeah, because it's like I love set neck guitars and everything, but it's like sometimes when I think about it, like when I'll look at my some of my set neck stuff, it's like I love them and I love them more even than some of my bolt-ons. But when you look at the bolt-ons, it's just like if anything were to go wrong, you're not completely fucked for life.
Right.
Like you can still fix it, and it's like that to me. It just there's something about being able to just tweak that shit, and if everything goes, even like Strats, like your pick guard idea. Like to me, like you can never do that. There's nothing on a Les Paul that you can do that with.
Nope.
Like there's
The pick guard
nothing.
idea that he's mentioning is just doing. So if you like to change pickups, because I'm going to do this on my Tele Deluxe once I get the Kingfish pickups in
Yeah.
on the Greco,
Oh yeah.
because I like that, but I want to try it with the Kingfish pickups in it because that might do what I'm looking for, but I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, so if you got a guitar with pickups, just put a 9-volt battery clip on the input jack, and then on the other part for the for your wiring for the pickups.
Yeah.
And then you can just snap it together.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to solder. That way, if you're like, I want to take this pick guard off and put on a new set of pickups, if you put a whole new pick guard on, all you literally have to do is just snap it together and screw it down, and you're off and running.
Yeah. So yeah, like
super easy.
Yeah, something like that. Like I mean, there's just
Tele Deluxe, you can do the same.
Yeah, there's just nothing with a Les Paul or even even SGs and stuff. There's just nothing that Gibson does that's that easy to like mess with. And I guess that's why I'm starting to like. I guess in a weird way, that's why I'm starting to like the Fender stuff more, or at least the stuff that derives out of the Fender designs, because it's like you can mess with literally every part of it, and you're not stuck.
Yeah. So Ed mentions the Line 6 Variac, which is very cool. Yeah, that's a super cool play. You can mess with all sorts
Well, I
of
was
stuff.
saying in the premise
What time are we
I think
at?
we got like a minute. Yeah, we're basically wrapping up.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think the premise of that, it's kind of not dissimilar to like what Billy Gibbons was doing for the longest time, where you play the guitar you want to play, you make it sound like what you want it to sound like, and you kind of separate the two. Because it's like especially if you bond with, I could see like Brian May or somebody who bonds with a guitar where like that's the guitar. If you just want to navigate it into sounding like other things, like I think that is a cool option. But anyway, we should wrap it up.
Yeah, Ed's saying that since he can't afford a room full of expensive guitars, Variac gets him somewhere in the ballpark, and that's a great approach,
Yeah.
because that's a great approach. You get to have that flavor from a bunch of different stuff out of one thing,
Yes.
instead of having a bunch of guitars sitting around invested.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been in the herd because I'm like, I don't need these things. I'm not doing. I have like 4 or 5 guitars that I really like, and they're not expensive guitars. Most of them are imports.
Yeah.
The guitars that I have that are expensive, I don't even play them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything I usually get is pretty inexpensive. I like cheap guitars because you can make them play nice.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. So, if you guys are still here, whoever is still here, go and check out Texas Toast, because we're doing this whole thing because Guitar Prime Time. We start at 4 o'clock. Then the Texas Toast guys come on at 5 o'clock, so go check those guys out at Texas Toast Guitars. Right after that, you see Dylan Talks Tone.
Yeah. Different Dylan.
Not this
Another
Dylan. Dylan
Yeah.
McCurchie.
You can get sandwiched in Dylan's.
Yes. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
We're going to be done because I think
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go talk to the Texas Toast guys. Tell them we said hello. We might chop in.
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you guys
On the flip side.